there, I'm Lisa Bronner with Going Green with Lisa Bronner. And in case you're just meeting me for the first time, I am connected quite well to the Bronner family. Dr. Bronner, who founded Dr. Bronner's Magic Soaps, was my grandfather, and the company today is still run by my brothers, my mom, my husband, and lots of great people. So I'm here to talk about some common questions with our products, and today I'm tackling the question of why does the soap turn white sometimes. Also, this is something that can happen with our Sal Suds biodegradable cleaner. And so sometimes people are quite surprised when this happens. They think something's gone wrong, there's a malfunction, or they got a bad batch, and it's nothing like that. It's a very simple reason. And the fact is, the soap is cold. Now, so this is something that will usually only happen in the wintertime in your area. However, it could also happen if you just have a routinely cold place. So if your soap has been stored in a garage or a shed, or perhaps it was shipped to you on an unheated transport, or your house is just kept a little bit colder, or you're camping, lots of reasons why your soap might get cold and turn white. But why does it turn white? What makes it turn white? So I like to remind people that this is actually a sign of the soap's integrity and quality, because what you are seeing is the freezing point of natural ingredients. Now, if any of you have ever cooked or had olive oil or coconut oil in your kitchen, and maybe you made a salad dressing and you thought, oh, I'll just put it in the fridge so it keeps longer, well, you'll find that it solidifies because the freezing point of oils is much higher than the freezing point of water. We usually think of, oh, freezing is 0 degrees centigrade and 32 degrees Fahrenheit, but that's not actually the case for anything besides water. And so for oils, it's much, much higher. The freezing point of coconut oil is actually around 68 degrees. And so the temperature drops below 68 and your coconut oil is going to solidify. I could tell you some pretty great stories of getting big shipments of coconut oil from Sri Lanka, where it's never below 68 degrees and it's liquid, and they arrive here and they're solid. So we had some learning experiences at the beginning of our tenure at Dr. Bronner's of how to liquefy massive amounts of coconut oil. But coconut oil, olive oil, both ingredients in the soap with an average freezing point. It's not going to be the 68 degrees of coconut oil, but it's going to be averaged out with the olive oil, the palm kernel oil, the essential oils, the hemp, the tocopherol, jojoba. All of those are going to impact the freezing point of the soap. Now, the soap is not going to freeze solid when it turns white at first. It might just turn white. You might even be able to see here that, I don't know if you can, that the coconut, the peppermint here is not actually solid. It is white, but it's still liquid. And so, however, if it does get cold enough, it is going to be solid. Now the thing is, this does not impact the quality of the soap. It still works perfectly fine, even though it's white. Now, it's not that beautiful amber, clear amber it is when it is warm. And so, you are looking at it differently, but it doesn't impact its quality. So as long as it's liquid and you can get it out of the bottle, you can just go ahead and use it, even though it's cold. But what if it is solid? Or what if it just bothers you? You don't want it to be white. You want it to be amber. You want it to be clear. And so you have a couple options. You need to warm it up. Easy way to warm it up is just bring it into a warm room, give it a day, and it will melt. If it's solid, it will clarify. If it's white, takes about a day in a 70-degree room for that to happen. It doesn't even need to be that warm because, as I said, the freezing point is actually lower than 68. But what if you're in a rush? You really want it to look clear now. Then a simple solution is to take a bowl of warm water and set the bottle in it, like so. If you have a deeper bowl or pot, you can bring it up to the top. A couple of things not to do. I have to mention this in case you're in a super big rush. Don't put a pot with the soap in it on the stove. Don't put this directly on the stove. Don't put it in the oven. Don't put it in the microwave. The bottle is not meant for any kind of direct heat, and it will melt if it comes into contact with too high of heat. So just heat the water, put it in a bowl, put it in a pot, not on the stove, not in the microwave, and just let it sit and go do something else, and then come back and it will be beautiful. Now, if you have the Dr. Bronner's refill carton, which is made out of paper, that's why we made it, because it is biodegradable. You don't want to set this in a bowl of water. Now, you can't tell if this is white on the inside, but let's say it were frozen. Let's say it were actually solid, you can't get it out. You don't want to set this in a bowl of water. It's paper. The water is going to soften and fall apart. And so you really need just to have some patience and bring this into your warm room. I saw a comment online yesterday when I said I was going to be talking about this topic that somebody sets this on their floor heat register. Great idea. I love it. If you have those, I don't. We put our registers in the ceiling in California. But if that's an option for you, that's fine. Obviously, use some common sense and don't put it like on a space heater or something like that. So those are a couple things to do with your white soap or the Sal Suds. If you're not familiar with the Sal Suds, I talk about it a lot, and you can find the cheat sheet for how to use it for cleaning all your house. And then the peppermint or citrus or any of our other Castile soaps. I also have a cheat sheet for these for how you can use them for body and house care. Now here's a fun fact. The base formula for all the Castile soaps is exactly the same blend of oils. They differ in the essential oils. Those essential oils will have an impact on the freezing point. So you'll notice, let's say you have a couple different scents of the soap in your house, that some of them will turn white before the other, and that is because you are looking at the impact of the essential oils. It could be a little bit of a way to tell the temperature of your house if you happen to know the freezing point of those essential oils. So don't worry if some of yours turn white before others, that's just chemistry at work. So I have my book out here because these are the sorts of things I talk about in it, and if you really enjoy hearing about the sort of chemistry and what's going on, under that label, the book really dives deep into that. It's called Soap and Soul. I'm going to look over here and see if any of you have asked any questions that I can answer. I thought it was pretty funny yesterday when I posted the preview that I was going to be doing this talk today and encouraged people to ask questions I can answer. Other people in the Going Green community went ahead and answered those questions right there in the comments. That is fantastic. I'm so glad you all are talking to each other. That is community, and that's what I love seeing. So I'm just going to see if any of you have asked any questions. If you think of something later, go ahead and put it in the comments, because I'm monitoring that and my teammates are monitoring that, and I'll make sure I answer your questions after the fact. So let's see if any of you are asking any questions right now. Not yet. All right, well, that is why your soap turns white, and that is what to do about it. So if your soap is white, I imagine it's cold where you are, so stay warm, have a good winter, and enjoy your Dr. Bronner's. I'll see you the next time we go green.